Hello everybody, GrayStillPlays, and today I'm talking about 5 problems that No Man's Sky might face, based upon the information that we know now. Now these problems are just speculation on my part, as there is no opportunity for any of us to test the game. However, my speculation does come with a great amount of wisdom. Those of you that have been with my channel for a little bit know that I am an older than average gamer, and my decades of gaming have given me decades of being let down by developers with very ambitious goals. I've seen a massive amount of games come and go in my time, and many of the aspects of No Man's Sky I've seen attempted before, only to either be unable to be as truly complex as the developers made them out to be, or completely different from the described product. For that reason, gray as I am, I'd like to put my years to good use and give you 5 of my concerns. We'll see, maybe I'm completely wrong, and I certainly hope I am. Number 1. Procedural generation typically means empty and boring, or populated and no diversity. There have been plenty of games that have tried to add random elements to gaming, and the results were fun for the first few encounters, but then the new adventure smell kind of wore off, and you found that you were really just playing the same board or finding the same loot over and over again. It was just unnoticeably different each time. Now, procedural generation is not truly randomly generated, you understand. Procedural means that there are rules in place that keep the end product from being what would be considered outside of the defined boundaries. That's a good thing, mind you, as it keeps, say, a species that can only live in aquatic environments from spawning on a desert planet. That would just be pointless, although I guess it would be kind of an easy hunting spree for the player. Procedural generation is totally at the mercy of how many variables the programmer utilizes and how complex they are. From what I've seen in the past, such as the procedurally generated dungeons in Anarchy Online, or the somewhat procedurally generated terrain of the Elder Scrolls Daggerfall, procedural generation is grossly outshined by smaller plans made from hard-working developers. Number 2, there is no early access or beta testing. Now, call me old-fashioned, but I've been beta testing games for 19 years, ever since Ultima Online in 1997. Beta testing has always been and will always be a fantastic way to iron out bugs, find coding issues, locate spelling errors, and discover exploits. The reason is because typically beta testers, the good ones anyway, that aren't trying to just play the game for free early, try to break the game, and they should. They try to find exploits, they try to find weird glitches and environmental bugs, and they do so on a scale that no developer has the resources to do themselves. With a game as ambitious and with as much to do as No Man's Sky, a normal beta testing phase may have definitely been a good idea. Number 3, there is very little specific information that has been released. Now, over the years, I've seen a lot of games that have attempted to keep a great deal of their gameplay mechanics, features, and the scope of that gameplay itself under wraps. That does create a great wealth of mystery, and after all, it keeps people like me making videos about it. But unfortunately, this often means that the features themselves simply aren't that compelling, or they're not completely finished. Age of Conan was a shining example of this, allowing beta testers access to only the first starting area of the game, which was the most finished part, while keeping the rest of the buggy, broken, and uninspired world a secret, knowing that it just wasn't as polished or compelling as that beginning. Number 4, the game might be too ambitious. After decades of hearing about the ambitions of developers, I've formed a sixth sense that tells me, Gray, this sounds a bit too ambitious, and it probably is. Ambition is great because it keeps developers coming out with new fun methods of gameplay for us players to experience, but too much ambition can cause a developer to become trapped and crushed and settle for a system that is just like everything else that the players have been playing over the years. If you think that this is new, it isn't. Going back to Ultima Online, the original intent for the mob system, or the NPC monster system, was to have it maintain a type of ecosystem. That means that if you killed all the rabbits that the wolves would normally eat, trying to get your sword skill up or something, the wolves would become ravenous and would start attacking adventurers. If you killed all the wolves that the dragon likes to dine on, then the dragon might attack a nearby town looking for a food source. Of course, as absolutely awesome as that would have been, the ecosystem was scrapped. For the typical, here's some bunnies, feel free to slaughter them and more will spawn eventually. 5. The size might be inhibitive. Now, most people will agree, typically, bigger is better.
That's what she said.
But sometimes too big either becomes too empty or just a chore to play through. Going back to Daggerfall for a moment, the landmass of Daggerfall was 62,394 square miles, while Skyrim was only 14.3 square miles. Daggerfall also had 750,000 non-player characters to interact with, while Skyrim only had approximately 1,000. Still, Skyrim is an absolute legend of a game, and will be for years compared to Daggerfall, which by all rights was a good game itself. The painstaking time and detail that went into all of those 14.3 square miles or those 1,000 NPCs, however, is felt by every player that stepped foot inside of Skyrim. Due to the sheer size of No Man's Sky, there's nothing to say that one player's experience won't be filled with absolutely nothing of note, leading to an unimpressive gameplay. Even if a player had a goal to visit 10,000 planets, that would leave 18 quintillion, 446 quadrillion, 744 trillion, 73 billion, 709 million, 541,616 potential planets left. I can't even be bothered to find out how many decimal places that fraction of a percent would be. Anyway guys, I hope that you enjoyed this list of 5 problems No Man's Sky might face, and I want to mention that I'm in no way trying to dissuade anyone from checking out or playing the game. In fact, I'd love for you to play the game, so hopefully I can see you out there one day, as small as a possibility as that might be. I just wanted to take the time to put some of my history of gaming to use and bring up some concerns that might be relevant for the game. Hello Games has some huge claims to back up, and I for one am hoping that they annihilate my concerns, burn them to ash, and deliver the space exploration game of a lifetime. Until the next time, guys, stay foxy, and much love.